I will call the regular meeting of the Ascension Parish Council Thursday, August 19, 2010 to order. Our invocation tonight will be led by Van Lambert. Coach Van.
Thank you, Lord, for the many blessings that you have bestowed upon us and for allowing us to gather here freely in our great country. We give a special thanks to those who do the work of God by serving others. Tonight, we are here especially to honor Coon Vernon Shake Snyder, who has served so many for so long. He has touched many lives in countless ways. I would like for you to just keep a little list of the ways that he may have touched you. But we know him as a husband, a brother, a son, a father, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, an uncle, a teacher, a coach, a baseball player, a World War II veteran, a traveler, an athletic trainer, a painter, a carpenter, a house mover, an athletic director, and a camp director, a negotiator, a cypress log hunter, a brick scavenger, an insurance salesman, a shell pipeline worker, a planner, a renovator and an innovator, a principal, a great storyteller, a hardworking, honest, loyal friend. Coon Shake Snyder has been a great inspiration and ambassador for Ascension Parish. May God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit continue to look over him and all of our loved ones. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, Van. Our pledge tonight will be led by our Sheriff, Jeff Wiley.
Please repeat along with me the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sheriff. Roll call, Ms. Suzanne. Councilman Adrian Thompson is working tonight. I don't have any chair additions. Anyone wish to speak on any item on the agenda, please sign it, Ms. Suzanne. You'll be allowed 3 minutes. We'll move right into our presentation section. Our first item will be certificates of bravery. Fred Ficklin, Francis Gautreaux, and Gerald Williams. Please come forward, please.
Shortly before noon on June 29th, lightning struck a pine tree next to the mosquito control headquarters in Sanamo. Lightning traveled down the tree and hit an electrical line, which started a fire in the electrical box attached to the building. Mosquito control employee Gerald Williams drove up to the building just as the lightning struck and noticed flames coming from the building. At the same time, two other employees, Fred Ficklin and Francis Gautreaux, heard the noise, came out of the building. They immediately called 911. But before the fire department could respond, they began using handheld extinguishers to put out the fire. Fire department officials acknowledged that if Fred, Francis, and Gerald hadn't reacted as quickly and professionally as they did, the mosquito control building would have experienced more damage and may have been lost entirely. So we owe a debt of gratitude for you guys for, putting yourself in harm's way, and you do a good job in spraying mosquitoes and hopefully keeping the West Nile virus from attacking our citizens. But we certainly, as a parish and council and administration, want to thank you for what you did that day. So I'm going to present 3 certificates to you. These certificates are hereby awarded to Fred Ficklin, Francis Gautreaux, and Gerald Williams. The Parish of Ascension is proud to present these certificates of appreciation for actions above and beyond the call of duty during the fire at the Mosquito Control Building on July 29, 2010. We join with the entire Parish Council in expressing our sincere gratitude for your brave efforts in the face of such a dangerous situation.
Next, we will have certificate of achievement, dancing for a cause. The winner was Amy Johnson, our own parish employee, OEP.
Amy looked like a centipede out there. She had legs everywhere. But she did an excellent job in representing Ascension Parish, and we're proud of her. And Amy's been with us for 3 years, taking her current position as Planning and Intel Section Chief for the Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness in early July. On July 10th, Amy and 8 other community volunteers participated in the Community Opportunities of Ascension annual Dancing for a Cause fundraiser at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center. Amy spent 6 weeks preparing for and helping raise funds and was awarded first prize for her show-stopping rendition of the tango. I was there. Folks, she did an excellent job, and I know she worked hard. Hey, look at her. There she goes. They did raise $20,000 for COEA, whose mission is to enhance the quality of life for persons with disabilities and their families. Amy, we certainly want to thank you. And
I'm honored. Thank you, Council, President, Chairman. But I'd like to definitely point out that it was through the volunteer of a lot of individuals that this was such a successful event. And I think that volunteerism in Ascension Parish is what makes us such a great community. So I was just honored that they asked me to be a part of it. So thank you again for honoring me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to send a note out to everybody for next year and the years gone past that the last 2 years that this contest has been won by ladies from the Santa Maria area. One of them last year a member of the Sheikh Snyder bourgeois family there, and this member of our family here. Thank you.
next year, Jeff Wiley is going to be the featured dancer. So I just want y'all to know that when he dances, I'm going to dance and I'll challenge him. So, anyway, thank you, Amy.
You know how this goes. You can just bear with me for another second. We're gonna get another photo. 1, 2, 3.
And I know that camera.
Oh, you do.
Can't afford it anymore.
Next, Coach, would you come forward, please? Coach Vernon Coon Shakespeare, our honorary parish president.
I'm not giving you the mic yet. I got some people that might want to say a few words about you before. Possibly our sheriff, would you like to come up and say a few words about Coach Shakespeare? I know you've had a lot of experience with him, and we'd love to have you come up.
Tommy, thank you for allowing me to not only be here for this great occasion, but to be a small part of it. Coach Shakespeare has been a large part of my life, and Pat, thank you for you doing all the things you do to bring people together in the parish. Sadly, it seems to me like a society today, measures things on statistics so much, and nowadays coaches are typically measured on how many games they won and how many games they lost. Now, this individual can stand up there too. I'm telling you, I'm proud to say that at least on one occasion, Coach, I was a player on a championship team at East Ascension High School. I would rather coaches like this be measured on their impact on the community and how many people they really did coach. Not just athletes, but students in the school that we attended, people in the community, how many people this individual touched. We're talking about Tom Brokaw's version of America's best generation, World War II veteran, combat veteran. We're talking about a man who knows everybody, right? and if he doesn't know them, they know who Coach Schneider is. I'm proud to have been an athlete at East Ascension High School. It's still amazing that I got out. I know that and graduated. Coach helped me on that too. I would be remiss. I know you would want to hear a couple of stories, and I know I have 3 minutes here. That's what Pat Bell gives all of us to talk. First story. I missed a half a day's work this week because of being down with a bad back. Now, that bad back's been here since I was 15 years old. And I'll tell you why I have that bad back, Coach. I had to block. I was a running back that blocked for Bill Rue. And rather than me score those touchdowns and let him block for me, I had to block for him, and he scored 16 or 18 touchdowns in high school. And I'm still paying for it with a bad back. Never mind, he was the best football player on the team, if you understand. Yeah, well, it cost me a scholarship, as a matter of fact, to football. I'm glad you mentioned that, too. I could be the drainage guy today. I want to thank you for not doing that, Bill. Second thing is, there was in football practice, and Van, who was a mentor of ours, Van was 2 years older than us in high school, and Van was my hero in high school. He still is my hero. He is the epitome of the guy that worked the hardest and complained the least, and was an All-American, if you don't know it, in college, an academic All-American, and a starting fullback who did his own blocking for an All-Pro running back, Joe Profit, yes. I want you to recognize the fact that I learned all that blocking from you, Van, all right? Bill didn't play All-Pro, but he was pretty good at Tulane. Now, Bill Rue missed a lot of football practices. You know that, because he was a star of the football team. Bill Rue had a hangnail, 3 days out. All right. Now, he'd play on Friday nights, though. All right. And Coach Schneider would love on him and rub that bad knee that he had, or whatever the heck it was that week. All right. One day, I was cutting grass, and something flew up and cut my elbow, and I had like 6 stitches in my elbow. Wouldn't you think that would have been good for something, right? I figured maybe a day off of practice. No day off of practice. Play with the bandage and the stitches. Then I got to go to the doctor one day. I was set to go to the doctor. Dr. Sigmund, God rest his soul. You remember Dr. Sigmund, another legend in Ascension Parish. And I was going to go get my stitches out. It was no coincidence that I set the appointment at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I told the coach that. Coach said, sit down. Coach Schneider was in med school at one time. Am I right? Well, he told me that anyway. All right. He took the bandage off, pulled those 6 stitches out. I'm back on the field waving by the Bill, who was laying on the training table. All right. Wait a minute. Anyway, when you become 59 years old and you look back on mentors and people who had just so much influence on who you are today, your father and your bosses and your family and your neighbors and your preacher or your priest, this gentleman has touched so many people, me included. I'm proud to be up here as a part of this. The whole parish loves you. This is a treasure, a living treasure of Ascension Parish, and I salute you. Not yet.
Not giving you the mic yet. We got to wait. They got some other folks that might want to say a few words. Coach Favorite, you want to say a few words? Anybody else, Ronnie? I know you like to talk. Van, you want to come up? Okay. Well, anyway, it's anybody up here, George? Anybody? Go ahead.
While George is coming, at Rivercrest Community College, the woodwork out at the driveway you come in, Coach Kuhn was responsible for that. So years ago, I went and sat in Dr. Welch's office, introduced him and all that. Whew, was that a mistake? I thought it was going to be about 30 minutes. They were talking about the third quarter with 2 minutes to go, 1957, Zachary and Dutchdown. That's how far to go my way. Dr. Jovan.
Great ways. Yeah, I got to respond to that right quick. When I came back to Gonzales, after being out of the state for years and years and years, of course that was 1957 time spot there, I met this gentleman in the barber shop, and I think you introduced me to him first. And he looked at me and he said, yeah, I know you. And he said, you were the slow one on the Zachary football team.
And I'm coming up disappointed because I thought I taught Jeff Wild everything you knew. Shows you a little what I know. But what I'd like to do, and I don't know how many, but who's ever coached under Coon and whoever Coon coached, I'd like for you to stand up. I want to see how many people here that either coached with Coon or played under his tutelage. Good. Thank y'all. Coach is something, we consolidated. It was tough. Like, I was a year ahead of Jeff. And we consolidated with Gonzales, Sanamo, and Dutchtown. And Coon was coming from Sanamo. So we used to ride over and practice at Sanamo when we did this. And, of course, Fred Fontenot was on coach. And every time something happened to the Gonzales boys, which I was, even though I was from Gallows, that's why I was from Gonzales, he let Fred take care of it. Fred wasn't, he didn't take care of it quite like Coon took care of stuff. But I'd had all I could take, and I remember my good buddy Don Dixon and I said, we tired of this, we quitting. I'm done. And so went in and told Fred Fontenot, I said, Coach, I'm quitting. He said, okay, quit. Coon said, no, you come here. So.
Biggest round of applause I had.
Yeah.
There in Alec Block Stadium. And the ball, there was a pop-up behind home plate. And I could see the ball was going to hit the screen. So I went and leaned against the screen. And it missed the screen. I put my mitt back like that. And when I looked around,
You had it.
that was the ball. Look.
That was a good
I
catch.
could not stop the applause.
Long story short, Coon naturally talked me out of doing it, and I stayed for another 2 years at East Ascension and played, and was honored to be the captain of the team. But I'm not known for any of that. I'm known for not being able to ride a horse in Jeff Wiley's senior season after I graduated. But I know. But say it as the least, this man I owe a lot. A lot of my leadership talents and to be able to get along with people, I owe to Coon Shakes now, because he didn't know me from Adam that second week of practice when we was over there in Sanamo, but yet he didn't want to see me quit. And he taught me in the stand, and I appreciate that, and but Adam a better person, I guarantee you. Thank you, Coon.
Thank you. Anybody else? Come on.
I just want to make a special note that, as a son, and I think, we all were very blessed with his demeanor in many ways, and we learned a lot from it. And I do want to reiterate what everyone else said, and I think it's a great honor. We're very proud as a family. And I also don't want to forget that he was a great coach, but he had a great quarterback at home, too, which is my mom.
Yes. That's it. We want to thank, certainly. Well, I knew Coon in a different way. We grew up on the same plantation. We didn't own it. The Shakes and I had owned it, so we worked. My father, my grandfather worked on that. And from what I'm told, when my mother was ready to have me, we didn't have a car, and Coach Shakes and I took us to the hospital. And so I owe being here to him in a way. But he was always, my memory of Coon is that he was always a kind person. Him and my father used to go and get crabs in Bear River and come back, ball them, and we'd all eat crabs. It was a big thing for us. And I know him as a kind man. I know the entire Shakes and I clan as kind, good people. And I just want to say, Coach, that I love you, and that everything everybody said about you tonight is true, but it could be 100 times more. And Ascension Parish as a whole loves you. You're an icon here, and we just love you. And we want to honor you today with the proclamation. It says, to proclaim August 20th, Vernon Coon Schexnayder Day in Ascension Parish. Whereas Vernon Schexnayder has touched thousands of lives as a principal, educator, and coach at East Ascension Junior High, East Ascension, Santamon, Donaldsonville, and Old Dutchtown High Schools. And whereas he has been a dedicated supporter of youth sports and the arts, helping develop the band and drama programs at East Ascension Junior High, and whereas he served his country faithfully as a soldier in World War II, completing tours of duty at Normandy, elsewhere in France and Germany. Whereas he helped to preserve old homes and is recognized as an expert on the history of plantation life along the Mississippi, is a dedicated LSU fan with his wife Barbara, will celebrate their 58th wedding anniversary on August 23rd. Now therefore be it proclaimed, I, Tommy Martin, as president of the Parish of Ascension, state of Louisiana, by the virtue of and authority vested in me, do hereunto proclaim August 20th, 2010, as Vernon Coon Schexnayder Day in Ascension Parish, and make him an honorary parish president on this day, urging our citizens to accord him all respect and honors due to an honorary holder of this high office. So tomorrow is Coon Schexnayder Day in Ascension Parish. You can do whatever you want tomorrow. Doesn't matter. Just go ahead. Jeff's going to take you around, whatever you want to do. But congratulations. I'll hold this for you. Okay?
Now, that's the second round. Greatest round of applause, except when I caught that ball at anybody. And then when they discovered saccharin, I was taking organic chemistry, and that's where I learned about how much sweeter than sugar it was. So, thank you. It's been great to be here. I love all of you.
Right, family and Jeff, y'all come around, we'll take a picture. We'd love to have anybody who wants to come, the former players band, come on up. Let's take come on. Y'all all proud of this. Come on.
I got good knees in the back.
I don't know. I thought he had a bad knee. She didn't want to go. Said we're going home. Really? That's tough. My mom went through that. Ain't nothing. You laugh, but some things you have to. You got it. Yeah. You can sing. Yeah.
He works for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's okay. We did good.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you got one.
Next, we will move into our parish president's report, recognition of Darren Martin, Davin Duplessis, and Frankie Paulette. Please come forward.
Again, we got 3 outstanding employees here. And, on August 7th, the Santa Monica Fire Department reported a house fire on LA 431 at Talley Road. I'm sure a lot of you heard about that fire. It was 10 hours for the fire departments to get it out. And after the blaze caused the roof to collapse, the firemen called in a crew. What time of night was this? 8 or 9 o'clock that night, and Darren Martin, Davin Duplessis, and Frankie Paulette responded with a backhoe, pulling away hazardous burning materials so the firemen could continue their job of putting the fire out. James LeBlanc, chairman of the Fire District Number 1, commended their efforts and cooperation during the situation, and we certainly want to recognize them publicly here tonight for doing an excellent job. Thank you all.
Anything else, Mr. President?
Only other thing is we do have, again, I want to urge the citizens to be cautious when going outside at night. We do have 4 cases of West Nile, reported cases in Ascension Parish, and I also want to just again say that things are going well. We with the BP operation out at Lamar Dixon, and we've been able to work with other shows and other festivities that were coming to work things out. So looks like we're going to end up in the black, and things are working out well. So.
Okay, so thank you. Councilman Ken Shakespeare, I believe.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to reiterate on that President Martinez just talked about. I think that's very big news. You know, there's a lot of controversy about taking over Lamar Dixon and wondering whether we were going to make it work. And, you know, the parish president administration has gone through and made a lot of changes and streamlined some things, and look like we're going to be in the black, which no one said we could ever do for this year. And I think it's great, and we can move forward and go from there. We'd like to commend you for the work that you've done, and the rest of the staff. So thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you. Anybody else? Okay, sir. We'll move to item 7, consent agenda. I'll need a motion, please. Motion by Councilman Randy Kluart, second by Councilman Chris Lohr. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Moving our committee reports, Transportation Committee Chairman Dempsey Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is a resolution to accept the low bid for R.J. Daigle and Son Contractors in the amount of $940,522.08. This is for the Westworthy Road widening project.
Moved by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
That's all for the report, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sir. Next, we'll move to our Personnel Committee report. Our Chairman, Todd Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before we start, we had a lot of great applicants and had only a certain amount to pick from, but just want to let everybody know that the applicants were all very qualified. We'll start off with the tourism. We had 1 opening. We had Mrs. Patty Coates, Mr. Wally Talion, and Mrs. Danielle Doyle. And the committee recommended to go back with Mr. Wally Talion.
Second. A motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen, second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Next, we had 2 openings for the Mental Health Board. There again, we had 3 great applicants, and LaJuan Brown, Mary Godin, and Diane Gross. And the committee recommended that we go with LaJuan Brown and Mary Godin.
A motion by Councilman Benny Johnson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dennis Cullen. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Next, we had a Human Resource Review Board. Only 1 opening and 1 applicant, Mr. Wilbert Curtis, and it was recommended by the committee to go with Mr. Curtis.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Randy Kluart. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Next, we had one opening for the East Ascension Hospital Service District Board, and it's for a reappointment, and only applicant we had was Miss Stacy Calvaruso, and the board made that motion to go with her.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Dennis Cullen, second by Councilman Kent Shakespeare. Any discussion? Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's the end of my report.
Okay, thank you, Todd. Next, we'll go into general business, a resolution. Parish President Tommy Martinez and Ms. Martha Collins, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a resolution for you to approve accepting an FY 2009-2010 Hazardous Material Emergency Planning Grant Award in the amount of $64,400, and to authorize our parish president to sign any documents, and Ms. Gwen LeBlanc for all financials.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Randy Clue, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any discussion? Any objection? Resolution passes. Next, we have a constable update. Constable James LeBlanc and Constable Danny Thibodeau, and I'm not sure if any one of them are here. So we will move on to item 12, the Ascension Parish Tourism Report. We have our chairman, Mr. Linda Talion.
How you doing?
And members with her.
I just want to take an opportunity to give y'all a brief update on tourism in Ascension Parish. I'd like to introduce our board members that are here with Uli Lejeune. I have Ray Hayes, and I have Mr. Tony Lawson with us tonight. We just want to give you a little brief update. We have rolled out our new rebranding campaign for Ascension Parish. We've left y'all some little samples of all our new promotional items. We want you to visit our really new, incredible website at www.ascensiontourism.com. We've got some really stunning photography work on there, and also we have a spot on there to market Lamar Dixon as well. And we've taken a lot of pictures of Lamar Dixon, last festivals, and we'll have rolling pictures of Lamar Dixon on there. And anything we can do to help y'all out with that, we would be more than privileged to do that. I just wanted to let you know that we also, this year, we have advertised in 6 major magazines in Louisiana and the Texas, including Louisiana Tour Guide, the New Orleans Visitors Guide, Baton Rouge Visitors Guide, Ware Magazine, Country Roads Magazine, and the Texas Monthly Magazine. We are going to be represented at 7 travel shows and summits in Texas, California, Chicago, Oregon, New York, and Canada this year. Also, we just rolled out a new certified rack program, which we put these racks out all over with our brand new brochures on there, high quality brochures. They're all in Louisiana right now. We plan to move them into Mississippi, Texas, and Alabama soon. So we appreciate your continued support, and we look forward to working with you to support tourism in Ascension Parish.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for the tourism board? And Linda, I'd like to thank y'all for all your efforts and what y'all doing. Mr. President, go ahead.
I just want to say that I'm very happy with the enthusiasm that this board has. I can assure you they've been at my office a couple of times. They got some good ideas, and they got a lot of energy, so you two fellas better watch out, because they're gonna work. This is going to be, I feel, a working board, and they're going to accomplish a lot. And I just want to say, keep up the good work. Y'all doing an excellent job.
And thank y'all for appointing Wally, because he's retired, and we plan to work him.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all very much. Next, we'll move into our planning and zoning recommendations. Mr. Ricky Compton, please.
Bullion Crossing, Plan Unit Development, Major Use Change, Site Plan Revision, Phase 1, 2, and 3 by Quality Engineering Services, LLC, in Council District 4 for review only. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended denial of this item.
It's a review only, right?
Yes, sir.
Both of these, okay.
Item 14, Mossy Oak Plan Unit Development Concept Plan by Quality Engineering Services, LLC, in Council District 8 for review only. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this item.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Next, we will move into our public hearing ordinance section. Item 15, Ms. Tony, please.
This ordinance amends the official zoning designation of Lot A1, A2C of the Valley Olehi plat located on the north side of Tommy Moore Road, approximately 350 feet east of Airline Highway, and more described in Exhibit A, from medium-intensity residential to mixed use at the request of the Zoning Commission.
I need a motion to open public hearing, please. Motion by Councilman Randy Cluott, second by Councilman Benny Johnson. Anyone wish to speak on this item, please come forward. You'll be allowed 3 minutes.
Motion to close.
Motion to close by Councilman Benny Johnson, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. I'll need a motion to approve the ordinance, please.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Randy Cluott. Any discussion?
Mr. Bell, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I need to read the whole thing.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I thought she was through.
So we have the purpose. Do y'all want me to reread it?
Go
We
ahead.
got that?
Yeah,
Okay.
just continue where you was.
Okay. Whereas Ascension Parish is a local governmental subdivision as defined by Article 6, Section 44 of the Louisiana Constitution of 1974. And whereas the Parish of Ascension is the governing and responsible body over the zoning and regulations within this jurisdiction. And whereas Article 6 of the Home Rule Charter of Ascension Parish, adopted May 4th, 1993, identifies the process and manner in which to adopt ordinances regulating the lands of this parish. And whereas the official zoning map for Ascension Parish was last adopted on June 30th, 2009. And whereas the Parish Council reserves the authority to make changes to the official zoning map by ordinance. And whereas the adjacent lot A1A2B was rezoned to MU on July 15th, 2010. And whereas the Zoning Commission requested this parcel to be rezoned from RM to MU to be consistent with the overall intent of the zoning around and adjacent to this parcel. And whereas this request has been processed in compliance with the procedures set forth. That's the end.
Okay, I've got a motion, I've got a second. I'm in a discussion mode right now. Anyone want to discuss? Any objections? Ordinance is adopted. Item 18, please, ma'am.
Okay, this ordinance is to declare as surplus property one parcel of land currently owned by the Parish of Ascension. Said immovable property was initially bought for use by the Ascension Parish Health Unit. However, due to budget constraints, this site ceased to be operable. Once designated as surplus property, the Parish of Ascension shall sell said surplus property pursuant to Revised Statute 334712, etc. Whereas the Parish of Ascension owns property more particularly described in Exhibit A, attached hereto and made a part hereof, that was acquired for a satellite office of the Ascension Parish Health Unit, and whereas the Ascension Parish Council, through the powers granted under the Home Rule Charter, has the authority to declare property belonging to the parish as surplus and transfer said property according to law. And whereas it is the high recommendation of the Ascension Parish President that said property be declared surplus and transferred according to law. And whereas this recommendation is based on several facts and considerations, namely, the property described above is no longer needed for the purposes in which it was originally purchased. The property continues to deteriorate and lose value due to the depreciation and lack of use. The Parish of Ascension must maintain services on said property, including maintenance and insurance costs. The Parish of Ascension remains liable for injuries and/or other activities that may occur on parish-owned property, and all other conditions that is normal and routine with the holding and/or owning of immovable property. And whereas Ascension Parish is of the opinion that this property is surplus, and no longer needed for public purposes, and that it would be in the public interest to declare said property as surplus and transfer said property according to law. And whereas Ascension Parish is of the opinion that in consideration of the condition of properties, the value of each listed property is less than $100,000. That's the end.
Okay, I have a motion to open public hearing by Councilman Randy Cluart, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Anyone wish to speak on this item? President Martinez.
Yes. I would like to ask the council to table this item. There seems to be a little, some discussion there about utilizing this property for recreation in the town, and, you know, this property was bought with dedicated funds for health unit purposes, so we need to work out some paperwork if we're going to do that, make sure that we do it the right way, and if we don't exchange it to give it to the recreation department, they're going to have to give us some services that will pay for that. So I'll ask the council to please table this item until we can get a little further along on this.
I move that we table it.
We got to close the public hearing.
All right, sir, I got you. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward. You're allowed 3 minutes. I'll need a
Motion to close.
close public hearing. That's Councilman Dennis Cullen. I'll need a motion.
Move to
Approve. I'll need a motion.
Motion to defer
move that
indefinitely.
the motion be postponed indefinitely.
I'll move that.
A motion by Councilman Kent Shakespeare, second by Councilman Randy Cluart. In discussion, any objections? Motion carries. Before I get to Councilman Lambert, Councilman Cluart, did you have something you?
Yeah, I just want to let everybody know, the administration and all the council members that are members of the East Ascension Drainage District, that the meeting for September will be moved from Monday the 6th to Tuesday the 7th due to the Labor Day holiday. Same time, and they'll be getting a notice on that. Thank you.
Okay. And as always, Suzanne, thank you for your efforts keeping us going. Tony, Scott, thank y'all. I don't have any birthdays in the parish, but I would like to wish a happy birthday to my little granddaughter who turned 7 years old yesterday, Miss Brennan Bell. So, thank y'all. Councilman Todd Lambert.
Motion adjourned, Mr. Chairman.
A motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Chris Lohr.